And then we lost.
So
Seems a lot better. Can you hear me okay, Sue? All right. Oh, it's time.
it's me. Hello.
Is that your best version of your Taylor Swift impersonation? It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. No?
No, but that's topical.
All right. All right, you. I think we're all set and ready to go. I got her and I got you. Anyone else that joins in, we'll catch up. All of us, the train is leaving the station to get started today on Sunday Fun Day, our glorious Sunday Fun Day. We cover the center parts of our mats and bring our feet so that the sides of them run parallel to the mat. And once we've got that nice and established, we're going to bend our knees and let the toes actually, let the knees kind of push forward to the toes, keeping a little bit of a stretch going on. We're going to take our hands out in front. Just get a bearing of how this kind of orientation is.
Dancing up and down?
Yes, a little bit of bounce going on. And then a little bit of orientation of how we can be positioned. So now we're going to take our bounce out and we're going to pull our hips backwards, keeping the bend in the knees so we can kind of feel how the weight in the feet change. So it's mostly in the heel. With the hands continuing to extend out, I'm going to bring our little cupping to the fingertips, thumbs, kind of like we're surrounding our fingers around a grapefruit or something. And we're going to push the fingertips slightly into each other, not a big push. More importantly, I'd like you to kind of extend the arms out and let the shoulders also drift out. So you have a nice inward rotation, which is one of the things we always try to avoid. But in this case, we're stretching out some of the muscles of the back. That nice opening across the back. And then we're going to take our legs and bring some straightness to them. And then pull your hips back and give me as much weight bearing as you can back in the heels. Couple breaths in. And as you exhale this time, let's raise the hands about eye level. Take another breath in. As you exhale, let's raise the hands ever so slightly more. And as you release the next breath, let's fold all the way down. Take a couple seconds to hang out here. Let's walk the hands away from the body. So your fingertips, kind of like your yellow page commercial, when your fingers do the walking. Walk out further, and then let's draw the hips backwards. And as we pull backwards, again, it's more about orientation of weight bearing. Focus. We're trying to stretch out our hamstrings. So we're going to try to bring some more straightness to the legs. And remember, we're just in the process of warming up right now. So the indulgence to push hard is not really part of what we're trying to accomplish now. It's just to kind of bring blood flow to some of these muscles that we're going to be working today. Take a big inhale, extend to a flat back. On the exhale, let everything fold back down. And walk your hands out to the front of the mat. Step your feet backwards. Let's take the heels and drive them to the earth. Pull your hips up and back into down dog. Push high into the tippy toes. And then drive those heels back into the earth. Keep the heels driving into the earth and let your shoulders float forward. And then Ride the heels back down, make it effort to do a little more push as you pull your hips up and back to down dog. And then let's float back to plank. And then lower both knees down onto the earth. Let's separate them to the width of the mat. Draw the ball of each big toe together as you do with the heels. And let's squeeze the heels together as you draw back the hips. Let the hands walk forward a little more. It's like a big extension in this nice childlike pose. When you're ready, let's walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And let's take our chest, let it kind of push through the shoulders towards the earth. You feel a nice opening through shoulder girdle in the front. Take the right hand extended forward, directly forward. Open the palm to face to the sky, and then step that back down and switch sides. Try to find as much length as you can in the arms. Really helps to create more opportunity for the muscles that we're stretching right now to lengthen. So if the elbow is bent, it's kind of counterproductive. Let's do this a few more times. We open up our shoulders a little bit with this slight rotation. Finding ourselves now back in all fours. Let's take the heels of our feet and squeeze them together. And we're going to lift the knees, but I want to be mindful not to let the knees pull in towards the center line. We're going to try and keep that exterior rotation coming up into the toes, drifting back the hips for that nice pull through and across the knee. With those big, strong thighs of yours. Let's return the knees back down onto the mat. And drift the shoulders back over the hands, and then step the feet out the width of the mat. Now that we're on all fours, let's take the chest and push it through the shoulders. Let's take the back of the head and lift it to the sky. And let's take the tailbone and rotate it up to the sky. So we're kind of arching that low back, but we feel a nice pull through that abdominal muscle known as the six-pack muscle. Let's engage that six-pack muscle as we begin to tuck under the tailbone and let the head descend towards the mat. As you fill the lungs with air, prepare to release it strongly. Reverse. Do this one more time. Tucking under, letting the head fall, pulling from the center of the spine high to the sky. And then kind of letting everything come back neutral. And with their toes tucked under, if they're not presently, let's float the knees up. Let's pull the hips up. Let's drive the heels to the earth. And let's step the feet forward. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keeping that back in extension, let's walk the hands forward and bring as much weight bearing as you can into the toes. If your heels feel like you're going to lift off the earth, perfect. Let them come up, and then keeping the hands in place, drift the hips backwards, keeping the legs relatively straight. Come back as far as you can. Let the fingers just slide ever so slightly backwards. You should feel those muscles that pull from the lats, the side of the body. Those are your lats. And a nice little dog lengthening, helping those muscles to be more active today. Stepping the hands onto the shins. Pushing to the shins, extending the spine and tabletopping the back. With back in a tabletop, let's drift the hips backwards. So the nervous system kind of figures out how to find itself and balance out muscle use as we kind of do these posterior positioning things. Right now, I think you could feel nice weight bearing in the heels, nice extension through the hamstrings. Try to make the leg a little straighter now if you can. You might already have the ability to do straight leg, that's fine. And then we're going to put a slight bend in the knees. And take the right hand, reach it forward. Open the palm to face the center line. Lift it long, lengthen it first. Pull it long, get out that little bend in the elbow if you can. And then switch it up. Lengthening, then releasing the elbow, pulling nice and long that arm. Lengthening back, switching sides. And one more time, opposite side. As this left hand returns back down to our shin, bend the knees even more, and begin to upright the body. We're not coming out of this, we're just coming into the squat. We're going to reach the hands forward. Now, as you hold on this, I'd like you to pull the legs together. And that's not necessarily pulling the knees together. I'd like you to kind of take the leg and the whole part of the leg and pull, almost like you're using your heels as the anchoring point and the focus point of the pull. Take a big inhale, raise the arms. As you exhale, sweep the arms down, back, and externally rotate. So that's taking the thumbs and opening them up away from the body. Now, one of the things that's prevalent in this pose is that engagement of core muscles becomes realized by areas that we notice that feel a little aggravated. It's a long, complicated way of saying if your low back is feeling a little bit too much pressure, I like you to feel like you're growing the spine and hollowing out to the belly button. Kind of bracing the spine, if you will. Take the hands, sweep them back forward, and raise the whole body up as you reach to the sky. Use the fingers to pull the arms and everything skyward. Fill those lungs. And as you release the arms, side of the body, relax. Good morning, everybody. Now, shrugging, shoulders pulled up, hands open for palm facing forward. Fingers separate as arms sweep backwards. We're going to pull back the hips. It's going to cause a slight lean in our upper body. I'd like you to get that braced feeling where we're pulling out that belly, pulling in the belly, and pulling the arms back. Now, we're going to kind of corkscrew the arms a little bit. I'd like you to turn in and out the arms. And do that a few times. This is going to articulate that little bone in our shoulder, kind of let some of the fluid build to lubricate the shoulders. It also helps us with inward and outward rotation. So we practice the outward rotation now. We're going to spiral the thumbs back and then sweep the arms back a little further. As we continue to pull the arms upward and backward, let's fold halfway forward. Come back up to standing all the way. So we're kind of using the chop point being the hip, but keeping those arms pulling backwards. And more importantly, keeping the thumbs rotating externally, pulling down and up. Increasing the range of motion if it feels body appropriate. Let's do a couple more of these. And make sure your head isn't falling off your body. It's part of the brace chain of the spinal column. You're pulling that spinal column nice and long. Now stand tall, sweep your hands forward, palms face the sky. Draw the butt backwards and brace that low back. I'd like you to pull in that belly button, keeping it nice and engaged. Rotate the palms to face, cup the fingers, bring them together, connecting. Connections are good, these connections. Now, we're going to push with a little more force, the fingertips together, but most importantly, making sure you have nice extension for the arms. Let the shoulders drift forward. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, pull the hips back a little more. So you can come up off the feet, the front part of the feet. So we're lightly weighted there, most heavily weighted in the heel. Rotate to the right, come back center, rotate left. Now, as we continue the rotation, like we practiced a little earlier, I'd like you to pull the legs together without actually bending for the knees. So it's not about focusing inward rotation of the knees. It's about pulling the two sides of the body, left, right, legs, to the center line. All right, come back center. Stand tall, bring hands over hearts. Take a big breath in, push to the sky. Powerful. Exhale, fold all the way down. So inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, fold back down. Walk hands forward, step feet back, high plank. Hover low, hover high. Hips up and back to down dog. I'm going to repeat this motion a few times. It's kind of like a vinyasa, a little bit of a flow. Everyone, when you're ready, meet in down dog. Push high to the tippy toes. Drive the heels to the earth. And do that a few more times. And then everybody float it back to plank. Hover low. Push it back up. Pull up and back to down dog. Drive the heels to the earth and then step your feet forward to your hands. Coming to the front part of your mat. Let's take the feet to the width of the mat. And then turn the toes into the center line of the mat. Let's make the legs nice and strong, and nice and long. And then put a slight bend in those knees. While we have that now, let's let the hips drift back and walk like you're walking the yellow pages, your fingers forward. Now in this folded, arm extended position, legs almost straight position. Let's take the heels and try to pull them together. Give me a little more effort. And keep the heels pulling together as you walk the hands backwards. Bring onto the shins. Push and extend the spine. Tabletopping the back. Taking left hand, right hand simultaneous, reaching forward. And then unhinging the body and coming up to standing. Lots going on there, lots of inner thigh. Muscles getting nice and lengthened out. Lengthen and strengthen, let the arms fall back down. Shrug the shoulders up. Open the palms to face forward. Straighten the arms as you sweep them backwards. Good morning. Beautiful. Pull that butt back. We still have that inward rotation of the toes towards the center line, of course. We're going to take the thumbs, spiral them backwards, and then spiral them in. So kind of corkscrewing the arms in, out. Now hold the arms back, rotate the thumbs internally, pull the arms backwards and try to open through the chest. Hollow out the belly, take a big breath in and sweep the arms forward with the thumbs aiming towards the earth. Nice. Now pull the butt back, rotate right, come back center, and rotate left. And oscillate between the two. Nice and slow. Nice and slowly, right? All right, oops, almost falling backwards. Coming back to center, flipping the palms to face, reaching the hands to the sky, standing tall as you inhale, folding all the way down and having a seat on the exhale. All right. Good morning.
That's a workout, just getting down.
It's a workout, yeah. It's enough exercise just getting down onto the floor. So that's our warm-up, believe it or not. It's about that long for the body to warm up. Rev up your metabolism, all that good stuff. As we come into staff pose, let's take the feet and push out with the heels. Bring some straightness to the legs. Similarly, from the base to the spine, let you kind of work around and get onto those sit bones where the issue, making sure all that big muscle tissue is out of the way. And we're going to make the chest nice and proud. We're going to bring the hands out beside us and then turn the fingers to face backwards and practice walking yellow pages backwards. It's kind of like reading in reverse almost. Now, with the chest nice and proud, pull the belly button in Beautiful. Now, take the arms, try to walk them back a little further. This is really a nice chest opener. Feel some of that activation across the shoulders in the back, and also the opening across the chest. Are you feeling it?
Mhm.
Good. A little remedy, or what helps to remedy a lot of that inward rotation we have in sitting. Now, keeping the chest proud, fold forward, keeping the arms. You're kind of just dragging the fingertips along the earth. And then let the spine go into flexion. When you start to bring flexion, bring the hands forward and walk out fingers between the feet. That nice stretch. Pilates style now, we're going to start to unhinge the upper body. We're going to drop the chin down and we're going to come down one vertebrae at a time. When you arrive on the mat, let's take let's step the feet in and then take the right leg over the left. And then use that right leg to draw the left leg towards the earth. Let's reach that left arm of ours straight back today. We're not doing the diagonal, just reach straight back. Focus mostly on the hip. Yeah, exactly. It's a good Sioux stretch. Now let's take the left leg and begin to rotate it towards the upper position. Towards back flat on your left foot. And now once we've done that, take the right leg and help to resist resist the right leg with the left and try to return back to that position. We'll give a nice stretch over the left hip. And then similarly, use the left side to help pull up against the resistance of the right leg back to its original start. And then back to the stretch one more time, guiding down with the right, resisting with the left. And then when you return back up, switch up sides. Left crossing right, of course. Starting off a less severe or intense portion of way to do the stretch. Going to use the left leg to guide the right leg down. Take the right arm and just reach it straight backwards. Take a few breaths, enjoy a nice lengthening. These side body hips, those muscles we're stretching right now, really suffer a lot of abuse when we sit for long periods. So this is a great stretch for them. All right, now use the resistance factor here. Use the right leg against resistance from the left to roll back up slowly and then return back down. Right leg resisting left this time. And going forward and oscillate between the two a couple of times more. My partner today comes with sound effects. All right, and you might make your own sound effects in your little studio. Let's come back up, uncross the legs, pull both knees up into the chest, bring the forehead up to meet the knees, and let's rock and roll it all the way up to a seated position, extending the legs all the way up. Reaching the hands forward, folding down, letting that upper body just flexing towards the earth.
This one's good.
We bet this feels good from someone here in the studio. All right, let's just hang out a couple more breaths. This is a great hamstring stretch also. And it's funny because you don't think it should be, but because we have our knees straightened, and we have a little bit of rotation in our pelvic girdle because of this folding, it just helps get that extra little bit of length out of those hamstrings. Okay, now let's take a big inhale, walk the hands back in, step the feet in. We're going to walk over the feet, up onto the toes. You're going to drive the heels down to the earth. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, fold. And one vertebra at a time, flexing to extension, coming all the way up. Shrugging the shoulders high, opening the arms, palms face forward, arms sweep back. We're going to pull back the arms and let the butt pull back also. We're going to brace our low back by pulling the belly button in towards the spine, and we're going to spiral the thumbs backwards. We're going to take the hands and sweep them forward. When we sweep forward, we're going to extend legs nice and wide. We're going to take the toes and aim them out in the same direction the knees are pointing. We're going to keep the arms reaching back, and we're going to squat down. But as we squat, I want you to avoid moving forward with the knees. I'd like you to try to pull backward with the hips and get low. And then rise back up. Straightening the legs, pushing through the heels, getting that nice straight extension, and keeping the heels driving to the earth as the butt pulls back, keeping the spine in extension. We want to avoid throwing back the hips. We want them back, but we want them pulling back so we have the posterior chains of the legs, glutes and hammies, working. And let's not airdrop. So we're just not falling down. We're descending with control. We're rising with control. Lowering down. Holding down this time. See if you can extend a little deeper into this. See if you can get a little lower. And then rise up slowly. If your arms need a break, like Kirsten's doing, you can take it. But if you can, keep them extended. Holding down, getting a little lower, getting a little deeper, rising back up. One more time, because I know how much you love this. This is such a great lengthening opportunity and strengthening opportunity. Holding down. Now hold down, raise the arms. Take a big inhale, stand tall. As you exhale, release the arms. Keep the legs out wide, but step the heels so that the toes aim straight forward. Pull the butt back, hold halfway forward. I brought my hands onto my hips to keep the spine nice and long. I am pulling from the back of my head, keeping that head from falling off my body. Now, very important here. Legs have just a micro bend as you pull back at the right and left hand reach down to the earth. See if you can walk them forward, walk those yellow pages, far forward with the hands. Now, but pull it back, pull it back more. More you almost feel like you're going to topple backwards. When you pull them in that spot, get that nice, effective hamstring release. Walk forward with the fingertips a little more, pull back with the hips a little more. All right, now, extend the spine, keep that back in extension. Take the left hand, sweep it out beside the body. Raise the left shoulder, and then let the arms sweep down, fingertips touch, but raise back up. So we're going to stay on the same side. So basically lowering and raising. Up and down, nice and slowly. You will find that the dominant muscles in your movement will want to take over this pattern, which are basically your quadriceps, which means your body is shifting forward. I'd like you to keep the emphasis as best you can. The heels, mostly weight bearing. Let's rise up, hold up, rotate a little higher. And as you return the left hand, this time, switch sides to the right. Raising and lowering. Making all the while the effort to pull back the hips and get as much weight bearing through the heels, keeping the legs as straight as possible without locking out through the knees. Rotating that shoulder to the sky. And then in the next rotation, hold it up, reach it a little higher, lower it back down, step the feet in. Let the upper body fold. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, bend both knees. Hold in this spot, tabletop the back. Roll it nice and long. Push your butt to the sky, straighten the legs, let the upper body fold. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, bend both knees. As you inhale, stand tall, sweep the arms to the sky. Good morning again. Now, reach tall. Should feel a nice, not a soreness, but a definite notice of the fact that this inner thigh muscle has got a nice workout today. As we stand tall, reach tall, tall, tall. And as you exhale, relax the arms, draw the shoulders up. As we shrug them, hold them up. Sweep the arms long, make the arms long and sweep them backwards. So we're raising the shoulders nice and high. We're going to spiral the thumbs backwards. Take a big breath, sweep the arms up, shoulder height. Fold the palms together, interlock the fingers, draw the butt back. Inhale, raise the arms. And this is a raise that's not like a prayer type raise. It's an extended arm, interlock fingers, and raising up with the arms at the same time. Now, fingers are interlocked. I'd like you to try to pull your hands apart. So we're connected palm to palm, but I'd like you to try to pull apart the palms and then push the palms together. And then try to pull apart the palms and then push them back together. And then pull apart the palms. And as you push back together, stand tall, bring hands over heart, releasing that interlock. Great job. Hands push to the sky. Hold it all the way down. And this is the workout for Kirsten. Have a seat. All right. Grab a little bit of water.
Cheers. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, fun day. All right.
I'll turn on the music.
You're turning on the music. All right. I'm going to come back down onto the mats. I'll lie all the way down. All right. I'm going to step your feet in and give us an opportunity to kind of rotate that lower back, or it's really called low back extension. Just due to the nature of our spine curves, that low back often gets a lot of flexion in it because of sitting for long periods of time. So we're going to work on extending that particular structure. And it's very simple. And it's just a matter of taking our tailbone, and I want you to kind of roll forward like you're pulling from the front side, which is basically the tailbone rolling backwards, tucking back, to feel a specific, let's say that by specific pressurization on the tailbone. Skin under that area feels highly pressurized. Now, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, and if we kind of roll the hips backwards, you should feel the skin of the low back making its connection to the mat. And we're going to keep that because that's really extending that lumbar or lower back. And I'd like to try to work that as we brace it now. We're going to pull the belly button in towards the spine. And with that brace, we're going to keep that muscle activation realized as we take the right leg and extend it out along the floor. All the way? All the way. Back of the leg touching the floor if you can. So now your hip flexor on the right side. Oh, feels a nice lengthening, right or wrong.
Mhm.
Nice. Now step that right foot back in and extend the left foot back out. All the while keeping that low back stabilization. Push the heel away. Try not to rock that pelvic girdle to one side. Just keep it nice and square. Step the left foot back in. Let's reset the low back. Let's take the tailbone and try to tuck it under a little more, almost like you could feel your butt cheeks lifting off the earth. With that level of activation now, take the right leg and extend it all the way up. See if you can get the back of the right leg on the mat. Now your right gluteal is going to fire up a little bit. Maybe you feel it connect to your mat. That's great. That's happening. Keep that nice and realized. Take a couple breaths. Step that foot back in. Reset. Make that low back. Really tuck it under, almost like those butt cheeks will lift it off. Take the left leg and extend it out. Nice and long. Locked out through the knee, if you will. Feel that left glute fire up. Push the back of that left leg into the mat. Keep that low back connected to your mat as best you can. Step both legs in. Pull both knees up and into the chest. Bring your forehead up to meet the knees. And rock and roll. But don't roll up. Just rock and roll. Give a nice little bit of release. Extend both legs all the way up. Let's reposition the upper body. Let's make sure that the blades, the shoulder blades, of course, you're not riding on the edges. So I'd like you to kind of broaden out through the chest. Let's take your arms and drop them right beside the body. Let's cup the fingers and have the fingertips and thumb tip be the only connection point of the hands all the way up to the shoulder. So the arm is up off the earth. Let's take both feet and widen them to the hips and just step them in about an inch or two. Just the slightest of breaks in the knee. Now, we practice this pelvic rotation forward. We get up on the tailbone. It feels highly pressurized by the skin underneath it. And then we're going to try to rock the hips backwards and release some of that pressure, which is that six-pack muscle engaging and sucking in towards the spine. Keep that. Keep it. Now take the toes, rotate them into touch. Take your thighs, squeeze them together. Take the fingertips, push them to the earth. Nice. Now, try to push from the heels and try to elevate the tailbone up off your mat. Hold on that. Breathe. Relax any tension around the neck. This is all about inner thighs and gluteals and hamstrings, nothing about the upper body aside from the arms working. And then relax it back down. Extend the legs out. And let the toes splay open. Feel a nice inner thigh release and stretch. Come back to this work now, rotating back in as you step the heels in slightly, keeping them wider than hip width apart this time. Squeeze the thighs, push the fingertips. Arms are straightening out as fingertips push into the earth. We're going to try to lift up and hold up that tailbone up off the earth. Really make a focus now to squeeze the thighs, squeeze them harder. Nice. And then lower back down, extend legs back out. Let them open nice and wide. Let's roll back so the toes now are facing up towards the sky. Let's bring the hands all above the chest. Let's sweep them backwards, begin. Full body stretch, point the toes, pull with fingers. Find it all the way through the whole body as you inhale.
Let's do some stretches.
And as you exhale, bring the hands back up over the chest. Now, stretches for Sue. Oh my goodness.
Yes, for her.
Intracostal muscle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're working on stretches for Sue. Yeah. So we're going to take our legs, point the toes. You're going to take your arms all the way back up over your head again. Take a long breath and to inhale, imagine everything from the heel of the foot all the way up through your fingertips. A nice length of the body. And as you release the breath, let everything just kind of fall down to the earth. Let your legs go wherever they want. Take your head and roll up from side to side. And then let it just kind of fall in its spot where it feels best to be. It's not unusual for it to be off center slightly. Take your left arm, reach it out beside the body. Open the palm to the sky. Take your right arm, and just like we were using both arms previously, I'd like you to cup the fingers so that the fingertips of the right arm are your connection point of the right arm to your ground. Make the arms straight. Walk it down to the thigh or towards the thigh. But keep the fingertips the connection point only. Push the fingertips into the earth. And then take your left arm and then lift it up off the earth slightly. Extend it out towards the side. And then take your left arm and sweep it. You know how you make a snowman? So kind of the same thing.
Or an angel.
Snow angel. Sorry, snow angels. Snowman. Yeah, that's a lumpy move you just made there. So sweeping all the way up and all the way down as you maintain that fingertip push on the opposite side. Now take your left arm and bring it all the way down to the hip and then sweep it all the way back up. See if you can get that left arm towards the midline of the body and then reach it across the body, kind of rolling up off your left shoulder. And then like a clock dial, sweep it all the way back, all the way around, and then position that left arm beside your body, fingertips touching the earth. Right arm reaches out to the side. Left fingertips pushing into the earth. Right arm sweeps upward and inward. And then sweep it back down. And then oscillate between the 2 points. You're doing your own exercise. That's pretty fun.
I'm doing the best I can in the space I have.
Okay, so on the right arm now, we're going to reach it all the way up. And then like a clock dial going past the 12 o'clock position, sweeping it all the way over, coming off that right shoulder. Sweeping all the way back up and all the way back around. Finding that right arm and left arm in the same position. Fingertips touching the earth. Expand through the chest. Pull your back up off the mat. Let's step the feet in just a little more than we did previously. Let's take the thighs and squeeze them together and begin to bridge up. So like pulling the hips up off the earth. Using the arms to push into the earth as we expand through the chest, but more importantly, squeezing through the thighs. Let's dorsiflex the feet. Let's bring them in towards the shins. Squeeze those thighs a little more. Lower back down. Extend the legs all the way back out. Sweep the arms above the head. For those that have issues with our rib cage, this may be a little more problematic coming up, so you use your own method, but we're going to come up Pilates style if we can. Otherwise, just walk it up. 1, 2, 3, all the way up. Nice. Now, take your right leg, step it into the center line of the body, take your left leg over top. So we have a slight rotation to one side. We're going to bring the upper body nice and tall, and we're going to take a nice rotation towards the right side. It's very important here to feel secure and safe as we make the rotation. We're finding spinal extension. Also extension in the neck. Come back center. Switch up the legs. Take the right leg out, bring the left leg across it so we have more stretch coming through the side as we lengthen and rotate. Let's bring it back center. Take both legs, extend them out. Fold down between the legs, again for the hamstrings and the gluteals, feeling that nice lengthening. This is a good opportunity, and it really depends on where, you know, injuries exist in the body. So this is a good opportunity for the intercostal muscles that align with the back of the body, good to the, or the back portion thereof. Find a nice lengthening. As we go to spinal flexion, inhale. And as you exhale, let's go to spinal extension. It's the opposite flexion, come back up to seated. Let's step the feet back in, and using the hands on the kneecap, roll down the upper body. Knees up and into the chest. And then let the feet descend back to the earth, but bring the bottoms of the feet together so that the legs splay open. Just take a couple breaths. When you're ready, bring the legs back together. Extend them all the way out. Let's keep the toes aiming up the sky, but for now, let's just take the head, roll it to the right. Slowly roll it back up, nose turns to the sky, and then descends to the opposite side. And roll back up. Turn the toes into touch. Let the feet fall wherever they may. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, let everything just dissolve. Just breathe. When you're ready, walk yourself up to a seated position. Whatever way you want. You get the freestyle.
Oh, freestyle.
Freestyle. Come up to seated. Cross your legs in the fashion that you find favorable to you. Oh, look at this. Let's bring our hands over heart and let me thank you for your great participation today. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. Okay,
I'm glad you didn't stay in bed. Namaste.
recording.
The good thing I didn't stay in
Yeah.
bed.